That's what people want from fitness guys. They want super jacked and super ripped, and they're in stringer vests, and they're like, watch me lift weights. But that's not even 1% of the population, because that's all lies anyway, right? That's all bravado, and it's all for show. That's not true at all. You go to the gym, you do your best, you go home. Simon the Mordejo here. Thank you for joining me as always, and today we shall be talking about Mike O'Hearn. Now, Mike O'Hearn is a very popular subject for many fitness YouTubers, and I totally get it. I don't want to get into that. You can go and watch other YouTubers doing, as I've said time and time before, and as I will say going into the future, I don't care what he is doing or what he isn't doing. I have my own opinions, but I focus on myself, because as soon as you fall into that mud, you kind of send yourself crazy, which actually kind of ties into today's video. Because a few days ago, up on his Instagram account, Mike O'Hearn uploaded this exercise, when I'll just show it to you.
Let's check it out. Notice how we start almost like it's an incline dumbbell fly, and we take it out as an incline dumbbell fly, but it's not chest in, because now the biceps are going to continue to extend as the elbows stay up. Come in, supinate the wrist, squeezing the pinky at the very end. Drive with your pointer finger, finish with your pinky. And you notice that peak come up. Of course, we have such a good mannequin here. It works beautiful. Look at that. Little trick. As you finish the rep, let the elbows come with it. Bring the dumbbells right to the top of your head. Finish that squeeze. And then extend out. That's the biggest thing. You never want the elbows to drop. You extend the dumbbells out, which extends the bicep all the way. And then we close it all the way, pulling these 35 pounds right in there. Good. And notice his chest is high. As he finishes, his biceps come above his shoulders. Finish that peak. This is a complete and isolated bicep drill. Do not go too heavy unless you're Mike O'Hearn.
Whee! So yes, him and his trainer, I presume that's his trainer, two gargantuan, huge dudes, were saying if you want a different way to train your biceps, you can do this, you lay on the bench, and you get your peak of your muscles, blah, 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 blah. Now, Greg Doucette did a very good video about this as well, which always makes you go a bit like, man, I was going to do that, because now obviously I've stolen all of his content, but again, we don't want to get into that. And I actually completely agreed with his stance on this, and it's not a Mike O'Hearn problem, it's a problem with the entire fitness industry in general, because even though we have a bunch of exercises that are pretty good, the bench press, pretty good, the bicep curl, pretty good, the deadlift, pretty good, pretty good. Everybody is always looking for an alternative because they believe that's where the secret lies. I'm not in the shape that I want because I've tried all these exercises. None of them have worked. Oh my gosh, I just saw somebody doing a chest press movement, but he was holding a plate, I should say, a weight plate, and he was going like this and he was squeezing. That must be what I need to do. And I'm very sorry to tell you the answer to that is no, it's not. So we focus on the Mike O'Hearn one because Mike O'Hearn is a big deal essentially. So when he does this kind of stuff, it gets focused on in the spotlight. As soon as you do any kind of bicep movement with your arms out like that, gravity will push you down. So there ain't no way your biceps going to kick into gear. It may do a little bit, but most of your pressure is going to be on your shoulders. And if you have been working out for any reasonable amount of time, you probably have an issue with your deltoid, with your shoulder, with your rotator cuff, because very sadly, that's just what happens. It's why I'd implore you, if you are just starting out the fitness palace of love, my word, come up with a good shoulder routine that's not lifting weights, but warming up and warming down and stretching, because these things are absolute assholes. And of course, for him, he's doing it with a very light weight, so I suppose he is trying to take precautions. And there is some kind of chatter that maybe he was joking after the fact. I mean, if you go through the comments, he kind of talks about this, but that is basically irrelevant because a lot of people, as we've already mentioned, are going to look up to Mike O'Hearn. Of course they would do. He's a man in his 50s that actually looks like He-Man. Like, if Mike O'Hearn came to me and told me that they had based He-Man on him, even though those timelines don't make sense, I would have gone, yeah, Mike, I absolutely totally believe you, because how else could this have come about? And usually what does happen, be it Mike O'Hearn or The Rock or Chris Hemsworth or whoever the hell you're looking up to, as soon as they post anything, you just digest that information. You go, there it is. That's what I need to be doing. Like, The Rock talks about his diet. I'll eat like The Rock. Chris Hemsworth mentions his Center app. Oh, I better get the app. Mike O'Hearn shows you an exercise. Well, I better go and do that. And the answer is, no, you absolutely should not. And you should never be doing that. And I include myself in this conversation. Now, of course, I don't have a platform like those guys. I'm nowhere near those guys. One day, fingers crossed, dream big. Always believe in your dreams. But even then, if I say anything and it makes your eyebrow go up, research it, educate yourself, go and see what other people are saying about this. Because if you are a brand new novice to the gym, that was a stupid sentence. If you are a novice in the gym and you start doing bicep curls with all these pressures on your shoulders, you're probably going to get injured and then you're probably not going to be able to work out at all. And that's not worth it, especially when there are a ton of safer bicep exercises that you can do right now. And I've said this before, and my gosh, the comments went crazy, but damn it, I'm saying it again. When you come around to training your arms and you get around to your biceps, if you just want to take the easy bar and and do, I don't know, let's say you're doing 16 sets of, say you usually do 3 exercises, you do 4 sets per exercise, so you're doing 16 sets. If you just want to do 16 sets of easy bar bicep curls, because that's what you enjoy, and that's where you really feel your biceps going to work, then that's what you should do. I mean, is it as good as hitting them from different angles and using different exercises in order to work the entire bicep? No, of course it's not. But if you go on to do exercise 2 and 3, and you notice that your intensity drops, but with exercise 1, you're like, oh man, I'm really dialed in here, do that one and do it over and over again. There are no rules when it comes to the gym except for take care of yourself, be smart, educate yourself where's needed, and ensure you don't get injured, right? And don't even put yourself in a state where you could potentially be injured. And of course, that's going to happen anyway, because it's quite an intense thing to do, right? Of course it is. You're putting your body under tremendous stress. So eventually, you're just going to go ping. Probably when you get out of bed, your hamstring would just go, because that's how way life works. But that's it. You want to be able to go into the gym, you want to break the muscle down, and then when you're not training, you want to build that muscle back up with food and blah, blah. We don't need to talk about it. So this was kind of my issue with it, I suppose, is that he's an influencer. He is. Mike O'Hearn is an influencer, especially when it comes to bodybuilding. And while he was quite, I understand it, I've got into, silly rows in the comments before. He was quite defensive about this because he didn't listen to what I said and I was kind of joking around. And, it's not all about training your biceps. It was about a total body movement or words to that effect. You need to be as transparent and as obvious as this stuff as possible, because there are so many people out there desperate to get some kind of information that they can use right now. It's why we do those reactions to those stupid adverts where it's like, man, are you overweight and about to die? Take this pill. If you are at your wit's end, you will take that pill, even though deep down in your tum-tum, you probably know this is a stupid idea. And it's the same with exercises like this. If you were looking in the mirror 5 minutes before you saw that video, specifically at your arms going, man, I need bigger arms and nothing's working and I'm trying and I'm sick of it and I'm fed up and I don't know what to do. And then you see Mr. O'Hearn absolutely smashing it. You'd be like, well, clearly if I do that, I will look like Mike O'Hearn as well. And maybe you will, but more often than not, maybe you won't, because that's just not how it works. Wouldn't it be great? Of course it would. This goes back to the whole stereotype when people used to say, well, I don't want to lift heavy weights, don't want to bulk up and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If only it was that easy. Very sadly, it is not. So we'll go through some of the comments here too. There's a video playing again. He kind of sets everybody off straight away because he says, is this exercise bad for you? Bait, bait, bait. Where are all the Instagram trainers to tell us how wrong this is? And again, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm saying under the right tutelage and under the right circumstances, I'm sure you can get away with it, but that's not what people do. They run into these things at 100 miles per hour. So they'll zoom to the gym, they'll set up the incline bench, they'll probably grab like 20 kilograms, which is like 40 pounds, and try and do it, because that's usually what they bicep curl with, and their bicep goes, not the bicep, their shoulder goes poof, and it just blows up. I mean, he says in one of the first comments, great that the majority understand the benefits of range of motion. Obviously, there's going to be a small percentage that has no comprehension, assumes that curls are just for bigger biceps, so on and so forth. So he's saying you can get other positives from this, which I'm sure is true, but again, it's still dangerous. I mean, everything in the gym is dangerous, really, which is why you need to be smart with it. And then this guy says, how can anyone argue with what exercise you do, Mike? Proof is in the results. Wait 6 hours and then read the comments again, lol, with a laughy face. So he must understand what this could have done. I suppose maybe I'm just being a bit of an old man, right? A bit of an old funny day, which I get. I just think in your description, you should say, there should be a disclaimer. If you are doing something that's a bit off the beaten track, be careful with this. Please be safe. Of course, it's working my biceps. We're also doing this. Talk about gravity. Talk about your shoulders. Talk about how crazy it can be. And a lot of people in the comments actually, even this guy says, I'm not an expert, but I've injured my rotator cuff a few times. And to me, this exercise looks like it puts a lot of stress on your rotator cuff. It does. And trust me, as a man that tore his my subscapularis. The supraspinatus is usually the one that people tear. Somehow I smashed my subscapularis. It is no fun, and it takes forever to get back, and I needed surgery too. Nobody wants that. Cheap plug on my Instagram at Simon316. I put a picture up when I wasn't able to trade the other day. But this guy, whoa, that looks awesome. I need to try that, and I bet he tried it 5 minutes later. This guy, there are lots more safe and best exercises than this one. I totally agree. And then I think this is the one that got me. If you're a snowflake and easily get injured, don't bother doing it then. Laughy face, laughy face. And then Mike said, laughy face, laughy face, laughy face, laughy face, laughy face. Facts. This is the problem, right? And I don't want to get on it again, like Mike O'Hearn, very, very, very much. Some guy I've been watching for a long time. You're not a snowflake if you get injured. You want to be ensuring that you don't put yourself in injury-prone situations. So if you do succumb to getting hurt a lot, this is the last thing that you want to be doing, which would be nice if just somewhere he had said, rather than go, ha, 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 he had just gone, that's a very, very good point. Maybe people should be careful, because you should be careful. And I get, this isn't cool. That's what people want from fitness guys. They want super jacked and super ripped, and they're in stringer vests, and they're like, watch me lift weights. But that's not even 1% of the population, because that's all lies anyway, right? That's all bravado, and it's all for show. That's not true at all. You go to the gym, you do your best, you go home, you try again the next day. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it absolutely sucks. It's not a contest, and it's not a competition, and whether you are injury prone or not injury prone, you're allowed to go to the gym. That one comment and that one reply kind of makes out that you shouldn't be able to go into workout if you may get injured, which is dumb, because I know 100% that Mike O'Hearn has been injured, because of course he does. He trains hard, and when you train hard, some point you're going to get hurt. So there you go. A little bit of a PSA from me that you're allowed to completely ignore and call me a fool. There's comments. Please call me a fool in the comments. YouTube loves it, so it will only help. Just remember what we're doing here, right? It's such a common entity now. It's like driving a car, right? I always compare it to driving a car. When you drive a car, sometimes you get complacent with it, because you're like, well, everyone's doing this, so it must be fine. But it is a dangerous weapon. And it is kind of the same with the gym. If you're doing some kind of squat and you collapse right on the floor, that ain't going to be good for your mental or physical health. So just take care of yourself. Sure, go and try this stuff, but start with super light weight. See how you feel. And if anything hurts, just don't do it. The best advice anybody will ever give you. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the bell ding dings. You know, other videos are going live. There will be another video on the screen. Just give it a click. You can leave for all I care. Just click it. I'm, of course, joking, only kind of hard. Also, please leave a comment below, as we've already talked about. GrillAndMine.com/Simon. These are supplements that I properly use myself. And if you do use the code Simon, you get 10% off. I vouch for these. Does that mean you have to believe me? No, it doesn't, but I do enjoy them very much. In fact, a brand new package came through my door this morning, and I was like a kid on Christmas. Also in Greg Doucette's Power 13 cookbook. Again, just a way to hopefully make your diet a little bit more sustainable. All the information is in the description down there, including a code to get some money off. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to support me that way. Instagram, Twitter at Simon316. Simon.bigcartel.com for merch. I'm on Cameo if you'd like me to say happy birthday or happy anniversary or happy Valentine's Day. I have priced them deliberately cheaply because I only think that's fair. Always want to give a shout out. But again, we're in the money business game. May as well be honest with these things. Otherwise, take care of yourself, especially in the gym. I mean it. Don't make me wag my finger at you anymore. And I'll see you soon.